Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now don't panic, there is going to be a commentary of a game for Faker. We're going to be watching his Ryze for the first game. We also got another game for him, in the next few days. But very quickly, some people have been asking when we're doing these pro videos, how do you know that their accounts start in Diamond 1 MMR? Why don't they start, like I've heard they're in Diamond 4 or Platinum 1. So I just thought I'd very quickly show that this is Faker's account. It's called Hide on Stream. I can't scroll up because that would spoil some of the games that we're going to be watching. But you can see here, there are no records below. So this is his first game on EU West, and the game average is already Diamond 1. So I just thought I'd include that just to basically show that, yeah, the first game he's playing on this account is straight away Diamond 1 MMR. So that also means that when these pros have a good win rate, obviously it's impressive, but that's why they can climb so goddamn quick. It's because after the placements, they're put in Diamond 1 pretty much straight away. But yeah, that's going to be it. Anyway, let's get into the game where we're watching today Faker's Ryze, which obviously he is quite well known for. Alright, so welcome to the, obviously, game portion of the video. We are watching Faker's Ryze. His account is called Hide on Stream, and this has been confirmed. You know, it's always kind of the fun thing of finding someone's profile. And the way, by the way, that Faker's was found was there was a tweet or something by SKT that was showing, like, you know, the background of their gaming room, and there was Faker's set up, and someone zoomed and enhanced and saw his account was called Hide on Stream. And obviously, you know, he's always been known as Hide on Bush, was his secret account for a while. But yeah, this is Faker. I've been waiting for him to come to EU West, because obviously he is arguably League of Legends' most famous ever player. You know, there has been rumours floating around that, you know, what was his contract when he was in SKT and coming back. Oh, first blood goes to the enemy team, by the way, in an invade. But it was in the millions. Like, it was insane. Right, so the enemy team got first blood. They did do an invade. I think that might have just been a little bit of laziness from like the Jacks and that, not scouting properly. It happens. Ryze now going for a bit of return damage. Twisted Fate could be in trouble, probably has to burn flash. He is running. You always have to ask yourself the question, where is he running? The AD carry, by the way, is still top lane. So this is a little bit weird. That definitely means Kai'Sa's going to be late to lane. And yeah, Ryze going deep, so Faker's going deep, just looking for a bit of vision. He's going to be, really smart, does a bit of return damage. Is, again, maybe didn't expect that Kai'Sa is still here, by the way, so he is going to take a buttload of damage, but at least he's going to be in lane. Rakan now showing up as well. Wow, full aggression by the enemy team. Double flashes with the ignite, and Faker goes down. Holy moly. Well, there you go, folks. And remember, this is Diamond 1 average. So this is still in placements. Of me recording this, Faker hasn't completed his placement games yet. So this is Diamond 1 average on EU West. If you notice the guy, obviously his name must be a Twisted Fate one trick. His name is Shuffle Fate. So yeah, he's not going to be a bad Twisted Fate, obviously. And this game is still pretty good quality. And Ryze isn't really known for his crazy early game. Yeah. The thing is worth noting, by the way, the difference between pro play and solo queue. Pro play is where more, I'd say, you can make yourself known as a player, obviously. This could be a potential gank. Good knockup by Jarvan, and this will be a dead Twisted Fate. Whoa, flash by Talia. That's actually a dead Talia, I'm pretty sure. If Ryze doesn't go for the other combos, okay, 1 for 1. Talia did flash over the wall as well there, but that's what Twisted Fate gets for being a little bit cocky and overstaying. Jarvan now, by the way, invading and gets himself killed. Oh, EU West fiestas have begun. But what I was saying was, like, solo queue is, like, kind of weird. Like, you can't... A lot of the time, your champion is what's going to kind of hold you back. And the player, you know, the player makes the difference. But if you're playing a weak champion, you're going to struggle. In pro play, you can actually play a kind of weak champion when you, as a team, know you're playing a weak champion. Like, you build a comp around it. Everyone in your team, like, you have a plan in mind. Obviously, solo queue, there is no plan. So Ryze being an early, like, weakish early game champion, his whole team isn't, like, playing around him. By this place, people probably don't know this is Faker, because this was, like, literally before he got, like, recognized. So, like, no one's going to help, really, the Ryze crazy amounts, because why would you? It's solo queue. So that shows the weakness, sometimes, of picking weaker champions. And in pro play, you can pick a weaker champion if it goes to your greater plan and your comp goes around it. That's why, like, stuff like, you know, you've seen Skarner be played in pro pick when a lot of people are like, Skarner sucks. If you've got a plan in mind to make Skarner work and you build a team comp around making it work with speed ups and everything, yeah, you can turn him into a pretty damn good champion. It's the difference of solo queue. It's one of the differences of solo queue. So Jax gets a solo kill on the Aurelia. Aurelia now 2 deaths, which I didn't actually realise. Talia being 2 kills herself. So the game right now is very much even. Enemy team is actually slightly ahead in gold by 500. Bot lane, however, the Draven does look like he's got a big advantage, but you should expect that. Obviously, Kai'Sa getting first blood in mid lane, which is great, but you did sacrifice complete lane pressure to a Draven. You know, if you're not there at level 1, pushing and all that, then, you know, you might struggle. However, enemy team is looking good, and they will kill, probably double kill. Never mind what I was saying. Enemy team, or, you know, Faker's team makes a mistake. I guess they overstayed a bit too much. Maybe got caught by a tower or Leona E, and they will go down. Draven, by the way, did die with flash up. So, small mistake possibly. Maybe he could have flashed the Leona, but didn't. Alright, item build by Faker, 2 tiers. Two sapphire crystals. One will be probably for tier, one will be probably for catalyst. And yeah, for the respective items, Tear of the Goddess and Rod of Ages most likely. As we've always even mentioned in this video, he is a scaling champion, not known for his early game. So you just build the scaling items to become a late game monster. And that's the thing with Ryze. He is a literal monster into the mid to late game. Once he's got, I'd say, 3 items complete, Ryze is very difficult to deal with. Like, would I recommend it for solo queue? Yes and no. If you're reliant on your teammates with your ultimate, that you're like, I'm going to make a play with my ultimate, teammates follow me, I'd say don't. I'd say that's actually a bad way to play Ryze, because again, you can't trust your teammates that much in solo queue. But if you play Ryze, weirdly, as an individual champion, you use your ultimate for you. You don't care about what your team does. You do everything individually. He's actually pretty strong. Combo-wise, obviously, you need to know what the hell you're doing. There is potentially a dive on 4 people bot lane, Faker obviously roaming. And again, kind of weird to see, Twisted Fate's not level 6 yet, but going for this roam, and if Twisted Fate hits level 6 at the right time, which he now has, you can see over here on the left, he is now level 6, there is a potential, like, Twisted Fate ult to come help. Right, so Leona just casually walks back into the lane, Ryze ulting, so I don't think anything's going to come of this. You know, Faker's actually kind of low mana. And like I said, you know, they got 1 kill, great. Talia's here. Twisted Fate ultimate is potentially on as well. I doubt the enemy team would go for it because at this point they are outnumbered. So I'd say it's risky, and I would just expect red team to back off. They might look for a pick of some sort, like, you know, hiding in a bush, but I think the smart play is just back off, go back to lane, and maintain the farm. So yeah. Worth also noting, because obviously Faker is... I wouldn't even say he's very hyped as a player, and rightfully so. I think he's won 3 world championships, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty much, like, for a couple seasons, has solo carried SKT. You know, broke out, I think, in season 3, and was superiorly ahead of the other mid laners. And I'd say what's happened in the game isn't Faker, because some people don't rate him that much anymore. I'd still put him easily in the top 3 mid laners of the world currently. But he was, like, the best 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. He was ahead of everybody by quite a bit. I just say the world has caught up to what Faker is. Like, the general play is getting better. You know, for especially some players. And I think that's what was special about Faker. He was so far ahead of everybody else, and everybody else has just caught up. Still makes him a fantastic player. But what my point being... These incredible players, everybody would be like, oh my god, Faker, one of the best, if not the best league player of all time. Looking at his match history that we showed at the beginning, he has lost solo queue games. So this is the point that I just want to make while he's walking back to lane. If Faker, who is, you know, one of the best players ever in League of Legends history, that obviously gets Challenger in Korea for fun, literally doesn't probably have to try, plays random stuff like Tristana mid to troll people. If he loses games in Diamond 1 MMR on EU West... it's okay for you to lose games as well. Because there are some people out there that have this expectation of themselves, and they can be a silver player, and they're like, I shouldn't lose games. If Faker does, you definitely can, I can, everybody can. So it is worth, it's like a humble lesson to learn. It's okay. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. All right, Phase Rush popped. When Phase Rush pops, this is when Ryze should be going aggressive. Rakan in the area, lovely poke and trade by Faker there. You know, farm not crazy ahead if actually he's behind by a couple, and the main reason is he is actually looking for more roams. You know, that little dip there was a potential start to a roam. He didn't go for it. Rakan's actually getting caught. Twisted Fate ultimate happens. Rakan flashes a little bit too late, but he should make himself live. Kai'Sa ultimates. 4 people in the area. Talia ultimates, and eventually the Rakan unfortunately will go down. Just too many people in the area. Faker didn't want to commit to it because, you know, there was 4 people there versus 2. So that would just be a dead Rakan for Kai'Sa ultimate, Twisted Fate ultimate, and Talia ultimate. So it actually wouldn't be a bad idea for red team to look for something. So this dragon, 100% they should contest this. Like red team, if the Draven actually was awake, oh, he didn't steal it. But definitely this should be a big fight. Draven is still too late to the fight though, unfortunately. But yeah, so many ultimates have been used. If they were there, like Draven was awake a bit more, and Ryze got there at the right time, and Jarvan played it fine. I reckon they actually probably could have done a really good job there. So Draven survives. Faker's going aggressive. Will probably end up with 1 kill. Does get 1. He's now over here. He is now in a 2v1. Will he survive? Doesn't survive in the end. Draven, very low health. And yeah, this enemy team is very much winning the game. Over 2,000 gold ahead. Or, you know, nearly 2,000 gold ahead at 10 minutes with the first dragon of the game. Jarvan will try to go for a return kill, gets the flash from Talia, and that will probably be the end. Oh wait, no, Jax teleport and gets himself a shutdown. So this Jax very strong, 4-1-0, 20 odd farm ahead, and yeah, voila, Jax everybody. That was crazy. So yeah, like I said, not perfect play is always going to happen. Solo queue isn't pro play. You don't have coordination. If the red team was coordinated, go at the dragon. Yes, it would have been outnumbered by 1 person. They had 4, you had 3, but they didn't have Kai'Sa ult, they didn't have Talia ultimate, they didn't have Twisted Fate ultimate, they had Leona ultimate, I think, but while the dragon is attacking them, it's such a big distraction. You know, then you're splitting the attention of the enemy team. It's like, oh, the dragon, oh, but the enemy team, they were just a bit too late for it to happen. Now, worth noting, because we haven't, you know, said it yet, this is an ADTF. People know my thoughts of ADTF. I know good ones exist. Hell, maybe this one will do well. But in what I'd say about 10 to 15 games I've played with ADTFs. Like, when I say with, I mean they're either on my team or they're on the enemy team. And I promise, I'm not making it up, pretty much every single game that I've played with one has been on stream while a Ryze teleport's coming in. Not a single one. Nice Jarvan ultimate. Ryze is going to go for the Aurelia with the Jax with the phase rush, gets himself a kill. Not a single ADTF I have seen, whether again be on my team or the enemy team, has done well. Like, not a single one. And you know, that's highest diamond on EU West, so similar-ish MMR to what this game is. It's just, I don't know, they're just not relevant. The damage is stupidly low, and I know the playstyle, well, from what I've seen of a good ADTF, is legit. They know their damage sucks. It's a split push build. Really fast split push. If you get in trouble, you can ult away. That's what I've seen it do. But none of the TFs that I've seen try to split push. They always just try to fight, and then they don't do any damage compared to AP. So it's really weird. So there was, by the way, a glimmer of the enemy bot lane probably being around here. Let's just quickly, don't do this often, boom. Oh, so they've run away again, now they're in the bot side. So I think they were looking for something. Faker probably, you know, noticed it and then just decided to back. Item build now, so yeah, we were right. There is a catalyst for Rod, and that is a tier for Seraphs. Boot choice is pretty standard on Ryze, by the way. It is Mercury Treads. Why Mercs, not Sorks, some people might be asking. Ryze doesn't really need it. He does crazy damage without getting the magic pen from the boots, and one of Ryze's weaknesses is, well, obviously CC. You know, every single champion in the game is technically counted by CC. Ryze especially, though, because he's actually very short-ranged. His auto attacks are very short. His spells actually don't go that far. Meanwhile, there is a play on here. Enemy team going for it. Rakan, very, very early ultimates. That's a bit of a... That's not good. So they're going to run down. They do pop Twisted Fate ultimate. There could be a turn on here. So obviously Twisted Fate did pop his ultimate, so they should have vision of Jarvan. They might go for a pick here. Faker does not have thingy. Talia getting caught into the Jarvan ultimate, and Jarvan will pick it up. Twisted Fate most likely going to get away because they were slowed by the Talia E. Trade happening. Again, that was a Ryze out-traded Twisted Fate there when he did basically nothing. Jarvan gets himself another kill, and Draven hopefully will get this one. Jarvan takes it, which is questionable. He probably should have given that to the Draven for his passive, and now Faker will go for tower pressure. And by the way, he is a level down. Again, positive trade for Ryze once again. Top lane is, yeah, so far the Jax show like it normally is when a Jax is in the game. But yeah, overall, the game is now turned red team's favor. And from my memory of how long this replay was, this game goes for quite some time more. Like, I think we're not even halfway yet, so there's a lot more to go this game. It's not a straight shoot. And my guess of why it's not a straight shoot, like it's just a snowball victory now for red team, the Kai'Sa's really strong. So it is hard to deal with a pretty strong Kai'Sa when she is arguably one of the best scaling champions in the game herself. So yeah, dragon-wise, let's just quickly look. For some reason, it's actually not showing us what symbol the dragon is. Usually it should, but it's not, so we have no idea. But yeah, he's now completed his Rod of Ages. Again, just to make it clear to people, that is the first scaling item you want to complete. You want to complete Rod over Seraphs. Why? Your Rod of Ages only stacks when it's completed Rod of Ages. For those that don't know, the item every 1 minute for 10 minutes gains stats. If my memory serves correct, it's like 10 health or whatever. I'll check in a second. So players on. Kai'Sa ultimate's really early. Gets herself caught to the Jax. Jax picks up the kill. Ryze also helped. Jax now in trouble. Will get himself killed. Ryze now going for the Leona. Rakan manages to survive on really low health. Gets E'd by the tower. Sorry, Q'd by the Leona. And that will end up in a positive fight so far. Ryze coming in with his ultimate. Makes his way into the fight. Aurelia is in the area. Ryze misses his combo, unfortunately. Aurelia gets out. But this will also be a dead Taliyah. Overall, an advantage to red team. 4 deaths versus 2. And again, that was with, I think, kind of, again, a late Draven. So this guy does have a pattern of being a little bit late to fights. Which is weird, because Draven is usually all about that killing. And, yeah, this guy, not so much. He seems a bit more farm-orientated, which is a bit odd. But yeah, sorry, let's just quickly look. Rod of Ages, yeah, so every... Oh, potential dive on. Yep, lovely dive. Killing spree for Faker. So every... gains 1 stack per minute, and 1 stack is 20 health, 10 mana, and 4 ability power. So you at 10 stacks, which is the maximum, you get plus 200 health, plus 100 mana, and plus a 40 ability power. So very good. So you get that first because you need that to stack as quick as possible, and because your tier is still stacking. You know, when you get Seraphs, sure, it's, you know, that's great, but your tier is still stacking, or your Rod of Ages isn't. So that's why you buy Rod of Ages before Seraphs. So yeah, good play by red team. Ryze very much so needs a little bit of help from the Jarvan. Will pick up the blue, which I would say is a little bit interesting to me, because gold-wise, Faker does have nearly 1,500 gold. So that's enough to go back and buy that book, you know, the whatever the book component is, the Seraphs. He's not interested. Again, we've said this before. Pros hate basing. They hate it. They want to stay in, because whenever they base, in their mind, it's, well, I'm losing gold. You know, if I'm in base, that farm I could have got, that wave I could have got. So pros really hate basing, so they try to stay out as long as possible. But he will go back, and there's the book that I said. What's it called again? Oh yeah, Lost Chapter. So he got it. Yeah, dragon taken by red team, which is Ocean. Again, one of the, for higher rating at least, one of the most liked dragons, surprisingly. I do think the Wind Dragon is the least kind of hyped dragon in the game. Teleport coming in. Oh, wow. Very aggressive teleport by Ryze, right in the mix of the enemy team. Also a Jax teleport, also a Twisted Fate ultimate. So Jax going aggressive, does get 1 kill. Leona's going to die as well. Draven finally picks up himself a kill, which will give him a buttload of gold. And that was nice team play by the red team. And again, what is the counter to something like having a Twisted Fate on the enemy team? Oh, he's all about roaming. Take teleport mid and beat him to it. It's been kind of weird in this game that it's a Twisted Fate, and again, by his name, that has to be a one trick. He's getting out-roamed by a Ryze. Like, it's bizarre. Like, I don't know. Maybe this guy did know it's Faker and he was a bit nervous. You know, I have no idea. Again, his build, obviously, yep, going AD completely. Trading-wise, here we go. So Faker doesn't fully commit to a fight. Again, maybe too many minions. Does do a bunch of damage. This, like, look at the difference, man. Like, there is just nothing this AD Twisted Fate can do. He actually might be dead. Oh, no, Taliyah's in the area. Two teammates in the area, though. This could be good. Taliyah, we know, doesn't have flash, I presume, because she just flashed away. Ryze teleporting in. Taliyah does her E. Will knock up, but it doesn't matter. Faker now on the rampage, and Taliyah will die in the end. Lovely. So again, it seems the same pattern of ADTF that I've seen again. This guy is trying to fight people instead of doing the split push play style, which I'm very confused about. But again, I'm confused about it, but am I surprised by it? Nope, because it's literally every single one of them that I'm seeing doing it, and none of them work. And again, it must work sometimes, because how do they get to high rating? Like, it has to, but I just have never seen it. It's really weird. So the Aurelia, by the way, on the enemy team is 0-5, having a pretty rough game. And you know, we don't know the backstory completely with these games. Do we know if that Aurelia is auto-filled or not? We have no idea. Like, the Jax could be a Jax one trick versus a support main in top lane. We have no idea. We're not looking that information up. But, you know, very safe to say that this guy on the enemy team at least is a Twisted Fate main / one trick by his summoner name. You know, it's very rare for someone to have a very similar name to a champion and not be a main or one trick of it. Especially when they're also playing that champion. So, yeah. Now, if we talk about the team comps, by the way, what are the advantage of both team comps? So, red team is a pretty just strong team comp in general. Hyperscaling on 2 champions, that is Jax and Ryze. You got a Draven that was supposedly, you know, supposed to win the game early. Didn't really, but has done fine. Maybe a bit more farm orientated and should have maybe gone for more kills. Yeah, Jarvan pretty good at even, you know, late game not bad, but he's very good at setting up everything for your future game. And Rakan just a solid pick in general. Blue team, on the other hand, again, Aurelia is supposed to be pretty good mid to late game. Not even bad in early game, but this one's not doing great. Talia, all-round good champion. Not bad in the early game if she can bully. Can one-shot AD carries and stuff like that in late game. Twisted Fate. Again, normally I'd be pretty hyped about a Twisted Fate. This one, obviously, I'm not because it's AD. I just personally do not rate them. Ryze does teleport them in a pretty odd position, has to be said. Faker gets caught out, does do a bit of damage return. Is going to run to his Draven for safety. Fight continuing. Oh, Rakan does a lovely play. Draven a bit too wimpy, though, and that will be overall a bad fight. But while this is happening, worth everybody paying attention, look at the minimap and look at Jax. So, yes, what I'd say, that was a pretty big mistake by Faker, and that is arguably, like we said, this game was far from over. That's Baron for the enemy team. Jax will get himself an inhibitor, which is something, but you do have to question that Ryze ultimate there, and that's why I've said that Ryze isn't the best champion in solo queue, because sometimes your Ryze ultimates completely screw you, and that was a great example. So yes, Faker does make mistakes, and that was a pretty damn big one, and the enemy team will pick up the Baron. So yeah, that was bizarre. Like, they went here, they could have stuck with a tier 2 if they wanted it, and then they went here. At the time, I don't think they had any vision. I think that was placed as they teleported in, and then they got completely bombarded. So that was very weird. But mistakes happen. Who knows? Like we said when we did double lift for the first time, maybe he just flew in, he started to play solo queue, and he's jet lagged. Maybe Faker's jet lagged now that he's in Europe. Who knows? So Infernal Dragon is up. This is pretty big for both teams. Arguably bigger for red team because they don't have any sort of tank. You know, even Rakan benefits more from ability power than Leona does. So all 5 members of red team love Infernal, where on blue team, arguably only 4 of them really need it. All right, so this is going to be pretty big. Jax waiting out, Leona getting potentially caught. Whoa, Jax goes aggressive. Ryze in the background, watch the positioning. Hasn't done too much yet, does get stunned. Aurelia coming in, doubt that's going to... Oh, lovely stun, though. Doubt it's going to do anything. Again, she played it really well, but the issue there, lovely Ryze teleport, getting them to the right position, and that will be an ace. So the Baron that they worked just really hard for is now completely gone. The enemy team just doesn't have much strength when they're clumped together. You know, the Aurelia, I think, stunned 4 people, but she's 0 at the time, 0 and 6. She's not a strong Aurelia this game, and that is the issue, obviously, with that. But yeah, the clump damage that they have, Jarvan ultimate, Jaxi, Ryze AoE throughout the fight, even Draven ultimate going through, the Rakan knock-up, it's too much for blue team to do. Especially that, again, my opinion, I know I've moaned about it a lot this game, it's just I really don't want people to play ADTF. I think it's terrible. I genuinely think that, like, this guy is playing ADTF completely wrong, because has he split push once this game? No. Like, he hasn't. Maybe he feels he can't, but that's the problem. When the hell can AD Twisted Fate split push? Like, he can't even split push versus a mediocre strength bruiser. Like, a bruiser would kill ADTF. So, again, I'm just very confused about that pick in general. I don't see why you would play it at all. You know, maybe it's just a stun bot. Maybe that's the way that we got to treat it. It's RFC, so a long-range gold card stun. Maybe that's legit it. But then you can do that with AP. You can buy an RFC when you're doing AP Twisted Fate and have a lot more damage. So I have no idea. Right, so Faker in the mid lane. Remember that the red team did get the inhib in the top side. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see red team grouping bot all together. If Jax wants that, you know, they could just go mid lane and have Jax bot lane, or they could go as 5 people. Either is an option. You could also, by the way, send Jax top lane. I know that sounds weird. It's like, but you've already got the inhib. If you send Jax top and you send the rest of them bot lane, then Jax just isn't pressuring an inhibitor, he's pressuring base turrets. Then the enemy team 100% has to answer to that. So sometimes that's also a good plan. But what, by the way, as a summary, what do I think of FAKER so far? Yeah, it's pretty good. There's nothing crazy that, you know, mistakes like, well, there's been a couple, mainly due to the Ryze ultimates and stuff. But yeah, no, pretty damn clean mechanically. Farm has been obviously very good. And the weird thing is, his farm is incredibly good without him being like, this game hasn't been like, oh, he's only farming. No, he's been heavily involved in this game. Like, the Jax has obviously had a great game too. The Jarvan's had a great game. The bot lane, you know, struggling a bit. Rakan didn't play bad. But FAKER's been involved in a lot of kills from mid lane. He's been involved in, what, 18 kills out of 29. So he's got over a 50% kill participation. Damage is very high. Pretty confident. You know, the weird thing is, he is probably one of the strongest on the map right now. Exhibit A, that wasn't planned. He is one of the strongest on the map right now. But he might just not be able to get all the kills. You know, his Jax is really strong and the Jarvan is strong. So they're getting the kills over than him. But arguably, he might be stronger than them. Okay, maybe not the Jax. But yeah, like, FAKER in this game is incredibly fed. Incredibly strong. High farm. High kill pressure in the game, in team fights. And what I'd say is, yeah, I'd probably go with that. Apart from his ultimate mistakes, when you watch him in team fights, his positioning is near perfect. So he's very rarely in a team fight getting himself in a bad position. He's very rarely caught. So he is going for a teleport flank, trying to kill the Twisted Fate. A little bit risky, but here we go. Gold card, try to survive. Remember, Mercury Treads purchase. Another ultimate. He doesn't have ultimate, so you can't chase them. But yeah, there's the difference of the mid laners. Twisted Fate doesn't do anything. Ryze half health of the Twisted Fate in one combo. So a little bit weird, but that's just the way that it goes. Most likely, or to be honest, Jax probably should return to top side, but he is in bot lane right now. Talia looking just in the bush for maybe a pick. And again, that Talia is pretty strong too. If she gets the right person, she will probably one-shot the likes of like Rakan or Draven. So you've got to be a little bit careful if you're those people. But item build now for FAKER, going for all the aggression. So this does show confidence that he went for Void stuff first. So as I said, you don't really need the spell pen from your boot on Ryze because Mercury Treads is so good. Enemy team looking for a pick doesn't manage to get it, so that's a pretty big deal for the enemy team, missing both Talia ultimate and hitting the Aurelia ultimate but not being able to use it. So that just patience by the enemy team, back off, wait for the minion wave, go back in. This is where you don't need to rush. You're winning the game anyway, just nice and easy, and you'll end up probably winning the game. But yeah, so yeah, you don't need your spell pen from the boots because Merctress is so good on Ryze because it's low range, but you want some as a mid laner. You want some. All right, so Ryze ultimate coming through. This is probably a rush to the Baron. Infernal Dragon, by the way, is coming up though. So you can see in the bottom left, the enemy team, the blue team, is pinging that. They might be like, right, we might have to give up the Baron, but at least we can get Infernal. If we can delay enough, that's good for scaling. Okay, so the enemy team doesn't look like they want to give it up. Ryze looking a bit aggressive. Does a flash. Bit questionable. Leona very questionable. She is now completely by herself. Rakan doing very nice zoning. She will go down. Jax flashes aggressively. Relia does die in the end to the Draven double kill. The Kai'Sa does pick up the Jarvan, who was by himself. Did have flash, didn't flash away. And now the enemy team, if I'm, you know, they should probably just go top lane, get the inhib again. But they are just going to go mid lane. Maybe they can get both. Maybe they can get 2 inhibitors, then back off and go do Baron or Infernal. Most likely what would happen is 2 inhibitors, go back and do Infernal, base, and then do Baron with your jungler is alive. That was probably the smartest play. Or go for the end if they think they could do it. Alright, so they are going to back off. And again, they should go to, like, you know, I'm on the same page as FAKER. He's pinging the dragon. They are looking for a potential pick around the corner, though. This is a bit sneaky. Ryze gets a nice W on the Twisted Fate. Don't get anything yet. Jax is in the area, though. Does get the E, so fight's continuing. This is most likely going to be the end of the game if people die. Kai'Sa does go down in a trade to the Jax. Leona just survives. Aurelia looking for it. Misses the stun. Rakan ultimate coming through. Does get the Aurelia. Good damage by Ryze. Now the Draven by himself does get a little bit damaged, but does survive pretty nicely. And remember, his MR is higher than normal because he's already got a QSS. Stun comes through, and that's all it was. There was no damage involved in that, and the enemy team will back off from now. They're probably, yeah, Jarvan's already picking up the Infernal. Now they should base, and then you should go get, Ryze by himself in the base. Let's see what happens here. He will get killed. That was weird by FAKER. So like I said, he still makes mistakes. Yes, when it's a team fight happening, his positioning is very, very good, near perfect. But there's been mistakes in between the team fights. It's interesting because so many people, and again, me included, I rate FAKER crazy highly. Like, of league decoration, of Hall of Fame, whatever, he is league's best player. Like, just by history, I'm pretty sure. But again, like we said in the beginning, that if he can lose a game in Diamond 1 when he's FAKER, you can too. If he can make mistakes, you can too. Like, that's why I love showing these games, because we've had conversations throughout the years where someone comes in my stream and was like, oh, how'd you make that mistake? You're a Diamond player. Yeah, because I'm human, right? Like, if FAKER can make these couple mistakes, the Ryze ultimate here, randomly being based by himself, if he can do that, then you can. If you're, you know, you're a silver, gold, platinum, diamond, lower than that rating, it's okay. I think there's been some, like, I think it's partially because there is a kind of toxic culture in League, especially in the streaming scene, that, like, really goes toxic when people die or make mistakes at the wrong time. Meanwhile, Jarvan does a lovely engage, or can with a great ultimate. It does, you know, doesn't matter if he dies at this stage. Already going aggressive with a Taliyah ultimate. Ryze in trouble now. Will go down, but his damage was very high in the team fight. And that, honestly, is most likely the game. Taliyah does a flash, but does get crit by the end. Enemy team should ignore the Baron. They should just straight for the thingy. Bit of a rage quit by both of those people, not staying until the game ends. And there we go. So that is the game. Really nice watching FAKER. His first game, first time that we watched him on EU West. Once again, I will say, yep, another useless ADTF. It's so weird. But yeah, so overall, yeah, you can tell he's pretty damn good. Did he stand out completely from this game that's a Diamond 1 solo queue game? I wouldn't say he stood out completely. You know, he had a relatively free lane against a Twisted Fate, but it's the little things that you can notice that add up. In team fights, his positioning was very good, usually. Like, you know, here or there, but overall, very good positioning. But also, he did make some big mistakes. The Ryze ultimate, the randomly being in the enemy base by himself. So it's a mixture. You know, that's FAKER. Yes, he's good. His Ryze is signature. Like, this video title might be something to do, FAKER on his signature Ryze. But I'm looking forward to watch more of him. I'm literally going to record another game of FAKER right now that you'll probably see in the next couple days. And then I also am going to be watching a little bit of Khan, the top laner for SKT. So now that they're here, you know, I've got a few more pros to watch because I've been kind of waiting for SKT to get here. But yeah, let me know if there's any other pros that you guys want me to see. Remember, because the actual Worlds is beginning now, the play-ins are done. All the pro teams will now be here on EU West and solo queue, so I can watch all of them. So if there's a pro that's like, oh, you know, they're not here yet, let me know if they're now here, and I can probably do a replay of that. So that's going to be it. If you guys enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of FAKER, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.